This is the 13.4 mini lesson on page 676. So a landscape company is installing a stone patio and a brick barbecue in the patio in a client's backyard. A model of the patio with the barbecue is shown. So this is all patio space. This grill area is called the barbecue. So they want to know what's the area of the entire patio. So we know that the formula for area is length times width. So if we take the patio is 23 by 15. So if we multiply 23 times 15, we get 345, and it's feet, and we're talking area, so remember it's feet squared. Now they want to know the area of the barbecue. So the barbecue is going to go in this region. So it's, again, length times width. So it's 5 by 7. So I get 35 feet squared. Okay, the patio will be covered with stone tiles that are 12-inch squares. So when I'm thinking about this, because everything we did was just in feet, so this is also in 1 foot squares. The tile will not be put underneath the barbecue area. So what is the area that will be covered with the tiles? Okay, so on the page before we had found that the whole patio was 345 feet squared, and we said that the barbecue was 35 feet squared. So the area then that's going to be covered, if we subtract these two, we'll have 310 square feet that's going to be covered with the tiles. So how many tiles will be needed for the job? Well, when I go back to this, that each tile is 1 foot by 1 foot, 12 inches is a foot, so one tile covers length times width, 1 times 1, or 1 square foot. So if we have a total of 310 square feet, each tile covers 1 square foot, then that means I have a total of 310 tiles that I'm going to need to cover the 310 square feet. So when the company orders materials, they always order an extra 10% of tiles because some of the tiles could break during shipping, or they could break while they're being cut to fit the patio. So how many do we need to order? Well, we have to order the 310, but it also said to find 10%, which is 0.10. So remember, when we find 10% of a number, easy way is we can move the decimal over one place. So I know that this will give me 31. This is the additional tiles. So if I have to get 310 tiles and 31 additional, that means 341 tiles should be ordered. Okay, name the unit of measurement for the length of the patio. Patio is measured in feet, but the area of the patio is either we can say square feet, or we could say it this way, feet squared. So how is the unit of measure used for length different from that used for area? Remember, length is a linear measurement, so it's just in the units. Area is square measurement, so it's square units. So now they give us two definitions. The volume of a solid three-dimensional object is the amount of space contained inside the object. So think about a cereal box. It's all the space inside the box. Volume uses cubic units. So area is squared, length is just linear, but volume is cubic units because we're seeing how many little cubes can fill the space. Surface area of a three-dimensional object is the total area of the outside surfaces of the solid. So I put a note over here and said think about wrapping paper, because when you wrap, all the paper that covers the box, that's the surface area. So again, it has the word area area is square units, surface area is also square units. So the barbecue is made out of bricks that are 12 inches tall, 12 inches long, and 6 inches wide. So they give us a little diagram of what that's going to look like. The barbecue base will be 4 feet tall. When the bricks are laid, they must be staggered as much as possible so that the structure is solid. An overhead view and a side view of how the first layer of bricks might look are shown. Okay, so how tall is one layer of bricks? Well, I could see that the height of my brick up here is 12 inches or 1 foot. So how many layers are going to be needed to complete the base? Well, it told me right here that the barbecue base will be 4 feet tall. So if each layer is a foot, that means to be 4 feet tall, I need 4 layers if the base is 4 feet tall. So now they want us to describe how we could calculate, how we would use the length and width of the barbecue base to determine the number of bricks that are going to be needed. So first thing I need to do would be to calculate the area of the base, which that we've done already. Then I need to calculate the area of just what the top of one brick looks like. Because if this is the patio, this is just the top of one brick. So I need to calculate the area of a brick. And then I would need to divide. So I would need to take the answer for the whole area and divide it by the area of one brick to see how many bricks are going to be needed. Okay, so now they want me to describe how we would determine the number of bricks that are needed to complete the base of the barbecue. So if I'm talking about all of that, I need to find then the number of bricks that are needed for one layer, which is what we would have found up here. And if I know that amount, I can multiply this answer by the number of layers. And we already said there needs to be 4 layers. So there are many different measurements involved in planning and construction a barbecue. How many measurements are involved? Describe them. So we need to know about the length. We need to know about the width. And we need to know a height. So a model of the barbecue base is shown. Label the base with the measurements we identified. So we know it needs to be 4 feet tall. And the patio, remember where we looked at where the barbecue was 5 by 7. And now we know it has to be a height of 4. So how many dimensions does volume have? It has 3. It has a length, a width, and a height. So now we want to calculate the volume of this barbecue. So I could say 7 times 5 times 4. Now with multiplying, doesn't matter which order I multiply. So I can easily multiply 4 times 5 to get 20. And 7 times 2 is 14 and add a 0. So this is volume. And volume is a cubic unit. So that means there would be 144 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot boxes that would fit inside all of this. So now they want me to complete the statement and explain your reasoning. Area is to square feet as volume is to. So here's area. That's how we measure it. Volume, we measure it then in cubic feet. So when you consider the area of a two-dimensional plane figure like a polygon, so we have a two-dimensional figure, say this. The area is enclosed by one-dimensional line segments. So it's enclosed by all these line segments. When you consider the volume of a three-dimensional figure, like the barbecue base, what kind of figures enclose the volume? So if you think about, again, I like to think about a cereal box. What does each side of the cereal box look like? They are polygons that are two-dimensional figures. So a cereal box would be made up of rectangles. Rectangles a two-dimensional figure. What is the shape of each side of the barbecue base? So remember, it was like 4 was the height. And then we had a 5. And we had 7. So each one of these shapes, 4 by 5 is a rectangle, 5 by 7 is a rectangle, 4 by 7 is a rectangle. So it's all rectangles. So how many outside surfaces does the barbecue base have? Well, it's got the top, it's got the bottom. It has a right side, it has the left side. It has the back, which we can't really see, and it has this front piece. So again, think about a cereal box, how many sides we see or how many faces we see. We would see a total of 6. Now you can continue with problem 2.